Welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I am broadcasting to you live from Budapest, Central Europe. Welcome everybody. Hi Paula, good to see you nice and early, even before myself. Excellent, good for you. All right, so today we are looking at IELTS Task 2 writing. This is for members, and in 90 minutes we will have a class where everybody can chat. That will be academic reading, so don't worry about that. All right, materials come from our websites for academic IELTS. Check us out at aehelp.com. And for general version of the exam, check us out at gieltshelp.com, where we have a 6-fold practice exams for you, over 100 hours of video lessons, and a fully interactive course for your phone, tablet, or PC. Hi Mariko, hi Rahul, good to see some more members jumping in on the class. That's fantastic. It's good to be early for these. If you have questions, please send me an email. My name, Adrian, at aehelp.com. And members, don't be shy. Request classes. I'm not getting so many requests for class topics today, so just send me some requests. Hi, Maninderjeet. I sent you an important email. Hope you checked that out. All right. So, again, today, task 2 right now. In 90 minutes, reading strategy. And then I'm thinking we'll complete this task 2 tomorrow if we can't do it today. If we can, then we'll do something else. And then we'll do a speaking part 3 for everybody to chat tomorrow. Okay, let's take a look at the question. So here is our task 2 question for today. IELTS writing task 2, you should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Please, students, make sure to practice timing your task 2 responses. Writing an essay in 1 hour is very different from writing it in 40 minutes. Or writing it in 30 minutes is very different from writing it in 40 minutes. So you really have to practice that 40-minute time limit. It's a very specific amount of time. Some people believe that self-driving vehicles will rapidly replace human operators in the near future. Others argue that this will take considerable time. Which do you believe and why? Give explanations and examples to support your opinion. Write at least 250 words. So I thought I'd present you with another kind of interesting, somewhat provocative topic of our time. As many of us know, these self-driving cars or vehicles are going to be on the market very, very soon. And so it's kind of an interesting food for thought type question here. Roshni, I didn't see your email, so please send me another one, okay? About the perks for members. By the way, members, of course, get your perks, so access to the 6 exams and so forth. All right, so students, first steps first, let's paraphrase this question. I want to make sure all of you are very clear on what this question is actually asking you. So please paraphrase it. Write this question in your own words, okay? I'm going to do the same. Give you a kind of another way of understanding this, and do that with me. The paraphrase can be useful in the essay. It can be useful in the introduction. You don't have to use it, but it's always a good idea to practice paraphrasing the question because you check to make sure you understand the question. A lot of times, students think they understand the question, but they don't, and they realize that when they paraphrase. So not just for the IELTS exam, but for university, college, and even in the workplace, if you have a question from a colleague or a boss, it's a good idea to paraphrase it before writing a long proposal for the wrong question. So let's do that together. Okay, so here's my kickoff. Some people, certain individuals, think is a simple way to paraphrase believe. Automated cars instead of self-driving vehicles. Remember the word auto, automatic. Here it's automated, meaning it works on its own without the need for a human controller or operator. So automated cars are going to quickly replace human controllers. Drivers maybe is a little bit clear. In the close future or in the coming years. Opponents ascertain that this is going to take at least a few decades. Which side do you agree with and why? All right, that's my paraphrase. So still waiting on your paraphrasing, students. Meanwhile, take a look at my paraphrase. If you're working on your paraphrase, maybe just turn your volume down while you do that so that I'm not confusing you. So here's the original question. Some people believe that self-driving vehicles will rapidly replace human operators in the near future. Others argue that this will take considerable time. Which do you believe and why? Certain individuals think that automated cars are going to quickly replace human drivers in the coming years. Opponents ascertain is a nice way to say argue, that this is going to take at least a few decades. Which side do you agree with and why? Decade is 10 years, few decades, we're thinking 30, 40 years. What I'm doing with my paraphrase as well is quantifying, so adding a little bit of a clearer time frame by using numbers like decades instead of the original considerable time. Okay, Paula is the first one out of the gates, and her paraphrase reads like this. Many individuals ascertain that non-driver cars will replace humans in the next years. Opponents think that this phenomenon will occur in a greater span of time. Which is your opinion of and why? Okay, just a couple of corrections, Paula. Non-driver cars is a bit awkward. I would say it or write it as software-driven cars or robot-controlled cars. Non-driver cars, bit awkward. Okay, just my opinion. Also in more years is a bit awkward. So I would replace that with a longer period of time or an extensive number of years. That's what I would use. Okay. Otherwise, it's good. It's very similar to mine, Paula. Rahul, some individuals think that fully robotic cars will tremendously take over human drivers in the near future. Upcoming time, Rahul, is a bit awkward. You don't need the word tremendously. Tremendously is unnecessary there. And it's not robotics cars, just robotic cars without the S, Rahul. Obstacle is time consuming to get this advancement. That is not good English, Rahul. That's very awkward. So you need to rephrase that completely. Okay. So others believe it will consume a lot of time before this advancement is fully achieved. Something like that, Rahul. Give your own opinion with reasons. That's good. That works. All right. Okay, Rekha says certain masses reckon that automatic system of two-wheeler and four-wheeler machines, you need that word machines in there, Rekha, otherwise it's a bit strange, will significantly replace manpower in the coming years. Era is Could be a long period of time, so don't use it. While the opposite opinion is that this will take some time. Which aspect do you agree with and why? Rekha, what I continuously remind you about is you really have to focus in on your grammar. I highly, highly suggest, Rekha, going back to grammar basics and building up your grammar from the beginning. You will be able to do it quickly because you have a lot of English, but you need to reconstruct your grammar, Rekha, okay? Reconstruct your grammar skills. Just go back to doing basic to advanced grammar practice sheets, okay? Begzod, good to see you in class. Mariko, I know you're here as well, so don't be shy. Throw in your paraphrase. Effective paraphrasing and writing an effective thesis are the two big keys to task 2 success, okay? So if you can paraphrase the question accurately, quickly, and then come up with a good thesis quickly, you are most likely going to write a decent, if not very good, essay, all right? Begzod says, certain individuals suppose that robotic cars will take the place of human drivers in coming years, while other people ascertain that this change will require a much longer time. Begzod, that's very good, okay? Very good. Mariko says, I bet automated cars will be realized anytime soon because of the type of cars already released in limited condition. Mariko, you're answering the question, but before you answer the question or give your opinion, just paraphrase the question to make sure you understand it. All right, what's the topic here, students? What is the topic? What are we talking about? So just keep it really simple. Topic's usually just 1 or 2 words. What are we talking about in this question? I think everybody has a good idea of the question who's in here right now. So what are we talking about, members? Can you tell me? Yeah, Begzod, that's right. Robotic cars or automated cars. Yeah, Paula, very good. Automated cars, exactly. Roshni, very good. Automated cars. That's the clearest way to say it. We're talking about automated cars. What's the controlling idea? Of course, you knew that was going to be my next question. Self-driven cars, that's okay. Or I think Maninderjeet, the better or clear way to say it is self-driving cars. Not self-driven cars, but self-driving cars, okay? And I would probably hyphenate that like self, hyphen, or dash, driving cars, okay? It's not drivers or not. That's not the controlling idea. Roshni has the right idea. Is going to change quickly or slowly, okay? So Amardeep, I see yours as well. I'll read it in a second. But the controlling idea, students, it's really important that you catch this, okay? You have to have the right controlling idea to write the essay well, okay? I think it's a bit dark in here, so I'll do that. See me a little bit better. Anytime, members, that if you feel the screen is a bit dark or bright or you can't hear me, make sure you tell me because I can adjust a bit in real time, okay? I want you to be comfortable watching the videos as much as possible. So, yeah, absolutely. The controlling idea is will dominate traffic soon or will take time. All right. Amardeep says certain citizens assert that automatically controlled cars will quickly change, and replace current human drivers in the coming future. Others who oppose this idea think that the development will take a lot longer. Okay, Amardeep, not bad. You have the right idea. You have a little bit of syntax and grammar faults there, but that's okay. You're close, okay? So just note my correction. Yeah, the controlling idea, Rahul, is how much time? So how long will it take, basically, right? Not much time or a lot of time? That's another way to think about it. All right, let's do a little bit of critical thinking. So What do you think? So let's talk about will not take a lot of time. Okay. So we know what we're talking about. Well, you know what? Actually, it is new science, so we might as well just go through the steps. So what are we talking about? Cars that are controlled by what? So what are these automated cars controlled by? Yeah, I should go through this with you because it is very new technology. So we need to be clear on what we're talking about. Make sure we're on the same page. So these are automated cars. They're cars that are controlled by what? What controls these cars? What's a good way to express that? And again, this is why your critical thinking, students, is very important before you write, because you will think of some really good terms and words, right? Paula, I wouldn't say robots. There we go, Mariko, very good. That's exactly what I was thinking as well. I think that's the best to think about, is AI, right? Cars that are controlled by AI, which means, as most of you know, Patricio, good to see you in class with a perfect answer to my question. Artificial intelligence, that's right. Artificial intelligence. Right. So basically software, right? So it's software controlled, but it's artificial intelligence. Okay. So why do we have these self-driving vehicles? Okay, good. I can see some of you are on the same page now. Brilliant. A lot of smart members, I'll tell you that. So why? Why have these self-driving vehicles? What's the idea behind it? Sure. So they're safer. Yeah, absolutely. They can avoid accidents. Sure. Can be useful. Keep it simple. So Begzod says avoid congestion. So, which means save time, right? Yeah, time saving. Amardeep says faster. Also, less work, right? You're not sitting there driving. You don't have to push pedals and move and pay attention and so on and all that responsibility. So it's just simply less work. The instead of you driving, you can do another task, right? So it's just less work. Sure. How? That's a pretty simple one here. So how the software analyzes the surroundings and controls the car, right, or the vehicle. Okay, so that's how it works. Okay, so fine. So we have the what, why, how for the topic, which is good. Let's go through the same steps nice and quick for the controlling ideas. Let's do replace quickly. What replace within 10 years? Okay, within 1 decade. Let's say that for the what. Why? So here we go. Now is where you get to do some fun thinking. Why do you think the self-driving cars might replace traditional cars, human-driven cars, very quickly? Why might that happen? So I think we kind of gave some good answers already when we were describing the what, why, how for the cars. So time saving is one, sure. Safer is another one. What else? What else? Now, I'll give you a little hint here. Everybody who's watching and members especially, pay attention to this. When you're thinking about reasons for humans taking action, especially when it's on a large scale, so on a large social scale, on the scale of countries, continents, or even the entire world, as in this case, right? There are some fundamental truths that will apply in almost every situation. So there are some fundamental truths that bind all humans. And remembering these, understanding these for your IELTS writing and speaking can really help you to provide quality answers quickly. Okay? Think about this. What do all humans care about? Okay, so this is a really good question to consider when you're doing your exam speaking and writing. So what do all humans, and when I say all here, I mean like 99.9%. Of course, there's always exceptions, but in this case, we're talking about the very, very few exceptions. So what do all humans care about? Okay, so these are the big answers. Bagzod right away, Paula right away, of course. So you're coming up with it like that. You're saying money. Money is one that many people, today we live in a very money-driven world, and money is one that we talk about a lot, right? So money, it's, I don't want to say it's sad but true, but it is definitely true. Money, health, okay, most of the time we definitely care, even if we don't show it. Life or health, yes, Mariko, that's right. So money, health, happiness, right? Success is kind of a general term that means a lot. So success, but the main three I think that we can agree on is money, health, and happiness, right? And relationship, yeah, social. We're very social, so having children, having friends, having a partner in life, we're absolutely social creatures. So thinking about these big ones during the IELTS exam is a good foundation when you're coming up with your ideas. I'll show you what I mean. Let's go back to our controlling idea, replace quickly. So what? Replace within 10 years. Why? Time saving. Of course, time is another big one. So time, safe. Safe is connected with health. Any other reason why cars will replace, robotic cars will replace human-driven cars? Thinking about those big points that we just talked about. Convenience, right? And money. How? So this is where we get into another interesting question. So how can it save time? Okay. How else can it save time? Okay, how else can self-driving vehicles save time? So time saving. How else can it save time? What do you think these self-driving vehicles can do? Begzod says people can earn money while doing other tasks in the car other than driving. Absolutely. So use driving time to make more money. Sure, that's another good piece of information. Just throw some ideas out at me here, members. Any idea that comes to mind. So what are the advantages why we can say that, well, these cars are going to replace traditional human-driven cars very quickly. So what else? How about this? No need to park. Okay. You definitely will not be driving around the city for an hour looking for a parking spot. You'll just get out wherever you want to get out. The car will take off, park itself wherever it can. And then when you get out of your office or the movie theater, the car knows you're coming. It comes around to pick you up, right? People can sleep as well, right? All right. Now, so here's some other points, of course. So you can send your card to pick up the groceries that you order online. You don't have to go to the grocery store. You can send the card to pick up your kids from school. You don't have to drive to school to pick up your children. So the sky's the limit. It's actually quite amazing how society will change when these cars come out. Now, before we go further, I want you to think about past history. So here's an interesting twist to your thinking, to developing your thinking. So of course, it's hard to predict the future because it's uncertain. We don't know it. So when we are asked questions about the future, and again, this is a really good strategy for speaking or for writing task 2. When you're asked questions about the future, think about a similar type of situation comparing to the past. Okay? So use our knowledge of the past to predict the future. Okay? Keep that in mind, especially when you're asked questions like this. Okay? So this is your tip number 2. Okay? Again, to help your thinking, because I know one of the difficulties a lot of exam students have is that the exam is hard because it's in English, and it's tough because of the questions that they can ask. So you need to be able to think quickly, right? So tip 2, to predict the future, think of similarities from the past. So for our situation, what would be a similar question in the last 200 years? Can anybody guess what I'm thinking? Can you read my mind? I'm really curious. So if I want to answer this question of how quickly self-driving vehicles will replace human-driven cars, and I want to think about past history, what do you think I might consider to give an answer, and maybe even use it in the essay? Not electronic cars. Again, think about what I just said. So past 200 years. Think about transportation. Think about changes in the modes of transportation. What was the biggest change in transportation means in the past 200 years? Ah, Mariko, you have a very good head on your shoulders. Horses. Yeah, horses. Absolutely. A couple hundred years back, people were on horseback. And then came the cars, right? So good, Mariko, brilliant. Yeah, horses, right? Horses to cars. How quickly did society adapt cars instead of horses? Was that a slow change or was it a fast change? Cars to horses. First cars came out around mid to second half of the 19th century. So how fast did cars replace horses? Amardeep says slow. I would say for the time it was very fast, okay? So horses really, considering everybody was on horseback for a long, long time, for a couple thousand years, in that respect, cars replaced horses very quickly. Why? Why did that happen? It was quite a quick change, especially for the technology of that time. So within 50, 60 years, most people were commuting by cars instead of horses, and that's for that time was very quick. Because of the development of the industry, that's right, Paula, but the industry that catered to the need, right? Cars needed less care, right? So they were time saving, they were faster, absolutely. They were convenient, they were efficient. That's right, Patricio. You wrote it just before I said it. So convenient, comfortable, and efficient compared to the horse, right? All right. And think about it. That was 150 years ago. So if it took 50 years back then, now in our modern world where everything moves faster anyways, think about how fast these cars are going to replace human-driven cars. Humans are creatures of comfort. We even say that in English. We have a saying that humans are creatures of comfort. We love being comfortable, and we love convenience, and we love efficiency. So you can kind of tell that I'm biased here, and I personally believe that these cars are going to replace human-operated vehicles very fast. But you can write the opposite. So there is an argument there. I'm just going to leave that as a challenge assignment for you. So write an argument for why automated cars will take time to replace human-driven cars. Okay, so that's just a challenge assignment that we'll leave for you to do at home. It's possible to do an essay on that, absolutely. But for today, members, we'll do the side of the cars will replace human-driven cars very quickly. Okay, so we'll talk about that. Yes, Begzod, because I've convinced you otherwise. But if you go through the critical thinking, Begzod, for why it might take a lot of time, you can come up with some good answers. Okay, absolutely. So for now, let's write the thesis for the change will happen quickly. And I'm going to give you a few moments here to do that. So write your thesis, members, your thesis statement of the argument that this change will happen fast, and give me two clear, distinct points of why. So those will become your body paragraphs, okay? So write your thesis statements. I'm not going to write any words until you start writing your thesis statements, simply because I don't want to give you a thesis statement. I want you to do it first this time. It's really important that you master writing a good thesis statement. Okay? So think about it, write it. All right, so thesis statement, and for the side that it will happen quickly. Okay, so we all want to be on the same page for this. So write that it will happen fast. This change will happen fast. Okay, and you should be able to use this planning now to create the thesis and include those two good points. Okay. Obviously, you can see that you can write a long essay about this, so you can write a lot more than just 2 body paragraphs, but just choose two of the big ones. Focus on the main ones. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll start outlining the introductory paragraph. So the introductory paragraph, 3 parts. I just uploaded an HD lesson on our channel for Task 2 Band 9 Introduction, so hopefully a lot of our viewers saw that. Okay. Roshni, not sure what you're getting at. The challenge exercise is different. That's for you to do for homework. Okay. The introductory paragraph has 3 parts. The hook, background, And thesis, what you're working on now. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to write a hook while you're working on your thesis. All right. Yeah, Roshni, absolutely. That's a good idea. Let's go back to the original question. Here it is. Okay. That's the original question. Okay. So still waiting on the thesis, students. And it is a good idea to reread the original question before you write your thesis. So some people believe that self-driving vehicles will rapidly replace human operators in the near future. Others argue that this will take considerable time. Which do you believe and why? Okay, Amardeep has the thesis up. Amardeep says, I believe this change will happen quickly because these cars will easily be controlled by artificial intelligence and be a faster mode of transportation. I think you're overcomplicating it, Amardeep. It's not bad, but you're overcomplicating it. You can keep it much more simple or much simpler than that, okay? So I believe the change will happen quickly because these cars are, I'm not sure how easy to control by artificial intelligence is a reason. So think about this, Amardeep. How does that relate to quick replacement of human drivers? Your first point is not very clear, Amardeep. I would replace that with a different point. Okay, it's a faster mode of transportation is okay. The other important correction, Amardeep, is you have to have parallel grammar between your 2 points. So faster mode of transportation, then it has to be similar grammar for your first point. Paula says, as technology is developing quickly, I strongly believe that the new improvements to create automated cars will occur in the next 10 years, not only to save the driver's time, but also to improve people's life. Paula, also same kind of feedback as with Amardeep. You're overcomplicating your thesis. You don't want to make a thesis more complicated than necessary. So a thesis should be relatively simple to read and very, very clear. Begzod, I definitely do believe that such change will occur in coming years, as these automated cars are not only convenient, but also help people to reduce accidents on the road. Begzod, you don't have parallel grammar in your thesis points. Okay, you need to work on that. All right. Patricio says, although many people believe that self-driving cars will be in the streets in the far future, I believe the advantages like saving time and life brings these cars quickly to the roads. Patricio, not bad, but again, careful with that parallel grammar. So like saving time and lives. You can save time and save lives, right? That bring the cars quickly to the roads. Also a little bit too complex. Mariko, in my opinion, automated cars will replace human-driven cars in the near future because AI has been developed and perfect for busy modern people for time saving. Mariko, you have way too many ideas being pushed into that one thesis. So I need to work on those thesis statements. I might just make a couple of lessons that focus just on the thesis statement. Kisi, I'm convinced that automatic cars will not only could not only avoid congestion, but also replace self-driving vehicles quickly. There's information confusion, Kesey, in your thesis. Automatic cars, that's the type of shifting. So you need to say automated cars. And self-driving is the same. So I think you made a mistake there when you were writing. Syed, I believe that auto-driven cars will certainly take the place of human drivers quickly because they are convenient and time efficient. You need a hyphen between time efficient and Syed. Convenient and time efficient are not necessarily exclusive. That can be the same idea. You should always make sure that your points are very unique from each other. Okay? Roshni says, although certain individuals believe that human-driven vehicles will take time to revolutionize to automated cars, albeit I believe that the 4C is going to change fast thereby. Roshni, too many words. Don't try to impress your examiner with so many high-level words, but then very poor information. It's not going to get you good marks. Simplify, clarify, and be direct. Okay? I'll write a thesis statement, students, and then we'll try to get on the same page here. So here we go. So this is what it should look like, something similar to this. I so far I'm going to be really honest with you, I'm not too happy with these thesis statements. If we were sitting in a physical classroom right now, I would ask all of you to rewrite your thesis statements a second time. Okay? So this is my thesis here. I believe that self-driving vehicles will quickly take the place of human-operated cars because they are efficient and safe. Okay, so just like that, notice how mine is quite a bit simpler than what a lot of you wrote. So I believe that self-driving vehicles will quickly take the place of human-operated cars because they are efficient and safe. Okay, and if I want to make it relative, then I can just say they are more efficient and safer. Okay, so something like that. So notice how it's very simple compared to what a lot of you wrote, but you should also realize that it's very clear what I'm going to write in the essay now to explain in body paragraph 1 that since they are more efficient, they will rapidly replace cars that are being driven by humans. And then in the second body paragraph, because they're much safer, again, this will be another reason to replace human-operated vehicles. Okay? All right, students, so let's write this. But practice makes perfect, so don't be down. Practice makes perfect. I'm just giving you some critical feedback, okay? Let's write the introductory paragraph. Here, I've started with a hook. Certain companies, like Google, have been working on self-driving vehicles since the new millennium. Okay, write some hooks for me, students. So some simple hooks, catch my attention, get me focused on the topic. Notice I have the topic self-driving vehicles in mind as well. So hooks, hooks, hooks. Again, I just uploaded an HD video, Band 9, Writing Task 2 Introduction to the channel. So make sure you check that out, okay? It really kind of goes through nicely step by step of what you need to do for this. So write a hook, students, write a hook. I'd like to see your hook for this question. Okay. All right. Everybody's gone a bit silent in the chat, and maybe I was a little bit harsh on those thesis statements, but you learn from your mistakes, students. We all learn from our mistakes, and a lot of people are scared to make mistakes, but making mistakes is actually beautiful because that's how we become smarter, wiser, better in life. So we all make mistakes. And just so you can feel my empathy, I studied Japanese for 10 years. I lived in Japan, and I certainly made a ton of mistakes in Japanese, and I've learned from them. So Mariko says, I'm fine. Yeah, Mariko, I bet if I started speaking Japanese, you'd be correcting me left, right, and center. All right, Begzod has a good hook. Begzod says, advancements in technology have considerably altered vehicles in the last several decades. Begzod, be even more direct for your hook. Advancements in computer AI have brought about self-driving vehicles. So be that direct, Begzod. So advancements in artificial intelligence have brought about self-driving vehicles. Period. Boom. Beautiful hook. Okay. Paula, some companies are developing artificial intelligence to control vehicles. Wow, I didn't, it's like you're reading my brain, Paula, but that's a perfect feedback for you, Paula, that you've nailed it. You more or less said exactly what I just told Bagzod. You paraphrased it. So beautiful. Excellent. That's great. Syed says, with the advancements in automation and AI, physical work of humans is being reduced. Yeah, Syed, again, same thing. Don't just talk about automation in all industries because we live in the information age, but be really direct with vehicles, with transportation. So Syed, it's a good start. With the advancements in automation and AI, driving is becoming unnecessary. Okay, or human driving is becoming unnecessary. So be very direct, Syed. Okay. Patricio says self-driving cars are in beta version nowadays, but in the next years they will be on the streets. Good, Patricio. Okay, that's also good. So self-driving cars are... Patricio, I'm going to surprise you with this, but there's actually quite a few self-driving vehicles on the streets in the world being tested, and they will be in production, mass production in the next few years. So, but it's a good one, Patricio. Remember, members, that 250 words for this essay is not a lot. So you want to be very focused on the topic and the controlling idea from start to finish. Okay? You don't want to begin the essay with cars in general or machines in general. You want to really cut right into it with self-driving vehicles. Okay? All right. Kesey says, talking about self-driving vehicles is a popular topic. Yeah, Kesey, it is, but even more so, it's a revolution of our time that we know is coming. It's here. It's just going to be much more prevalent. So it's not bad, Kesey, but I would be even more direct. So I would say something like expecting self-driving vehicles to be on the streets is a common belief, something like that, Kesey. Okay, so be even more direct as well. Roshni, again, technology has revolutionized the way people travel from one place to another. Yes, instead of has, Roshni, I would use is. Technology is revolutionizing the way people travel from one place to another. That would be okay. That would be okay. Okay. Amardeep, that's a beautiful hook. Self-driving cars are becoming a major part of upcoming innovation in technology. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Now let's write the background, students. So what are we talking about and why are we talking about it? Okay. So what are we talking about and why are we talking about it? I'm going to write the background. You write the background as well, okay? Let's do it together. So here we go. All right. So go ahead, members, write those backgrounds. Remember, the background answers 2 questions quickly, clearly. What are we talking about? Why are we talking about it? Okay, what are we talking about? Why are we talking about it? Meanwhile, I've finished my introductory paragraph here. Okay, give you a couple more minutes. And this is where, for the background, that should happen very quickly. You should be able to write your background fast as long as you've done good planning, okay? And again, in the official IELTS, you might not have the chance to write down your answers for what, why, how questions, but you should keep them up here, right? So for the background, think about the what, why, how for the topic especially, right? Because that's what you're talking about, that topic. That's why you're talking about it. So we've discussed that earlier in this part here. Okay. All right. Thank you for the acknowledgement, Kisi, by the way, and thanks for the feedback, Bagzad. All right, Begzad says, these days, with the help of artificial intelligence, there is no need for most of the people to drive cars themselves. Yeah, so I wouldn't say these days, Begzad, because it's not quite here yet. In coming days, I would write it. If you want to replace that with a similar type of expression, but for the future, in coming days, with the help of artificial intelligence, there is no need for most people to drive cars themselves. Yeah, coming days, not these days, not quite yet. Okay, maybe if we rewrite this essay 10 years down the road, that would be perfect. But you're close, just watch that time expression. Okay, otherwise it's good. Yeah, and it's a good correction, Begzad, and it's really always a good idea to correct your own writing when you catch a mistake. Yeah. Rahul says, since the last century, technology has been improved for cars, and now fully robotic cars will become a hand for millions of people around the world. Yeah, Rahul, I would say tool instead of hand. It's a bit awkward to say hand, but a tool. So since the last century, technology has been improved for cars. Throughout the time is not necessary, Rahul, because you said since last century. So don't double your time expressions, okay? Paul Adina says, cars are a target for technology companies which will change physical drivers for artificial robots in the near future to make driving simpler and safer for individuals. Paula, don't mix your thesis into your background, okay? So I would just stop at near future, Paula, and then add your thesis. So cars are an important product for tech companies to replace physical drivers with artificial robots in the near future. That would be better like that, Paula. Okay. Rahul, I don't know where your hook was. I'll take a quick peek at it. Everyone wants robotics cars which are too adventureful in terms of luxury and time saving. Rahul, that's not a good hook because you have your thesis mixed in with your hook and it's a little bit too complex. Keep your hook simple, Rahul, and don't mix in your thesis statement, okay? Kisi, background. Billions of dollars has been invested into the innovation of self-driving cars to make human society safe and efficient. Kisi, don't mix your thesis, okay? And watch my corrections. So billions of dollars, not billions of money, billions of dollars have been passive form because it's people doing the investing. So billions of dollars have been invested into the innovation, not invention, innovation, because it's existing products that we're making better. Innovation of self-driving cars. You don't need AI because self-driving cars means AI. To make humans, and then just stop there, okay, for the background. All right, students, this is my introductory paragraph here as a sample band 9 for you for this question. Read it with me. Certain companies like Google have been working on self-driving vehicles since the new millennium. The advent of cars controlled by AI, which no longer need the control of human operators, is on the horizon. This advancement has a revolutionary impact on the way societies function around the globe. I believe that the self-driving vehicles will quickly take the place of human-operated cars because they are more efficient and safer. All right, we'll stop there for today. We will complete this essay tomorrow, students. Members, I'd like you to, before tomorrow's class, so today or tomorrow morning when you have some time, please rewrite your introduction with a good hook, good background, good thesis. I want you to focus on keeping it simple and keeping it clear, okay? And I'm going to ask you in the beginning of the next members class to quickly share some of that information with you or with the rest of us. So please have that ready, okay? So in a Word document or in a notepad, just write your hook, background, thesis again. Work on making it really high quality, okay? And then I'll ask you to share that at the beginning of tomorrow's class before we write the body paragraphs and the conclusion. How does that sound? Does that sound good? Hopefully. Patricio, I'll read yours as the last step of today's class. Many industries are working hard to develop self-driving cars. They argue that these vehicles will be on the streets in the next 5 years. It is important to be prepared because this will change society. Patricio, a couple of corrections there, but otherwise that was a fantastic background. I think it was the better one I've read so far. All right, sounds like everybody got what I was suggesting there. That's great. So again, that's just a slight, smaller kind of homework for today. Rewrite the introduction for this. Share it with us tomorrow, okay? Don't be shy. Don't worry about making mistakes. That's it for this class, ladies and gents. Thank you, members, for your support and for making these live IELTS classes possible for others to enjoy as well. For great help with your exam, spend a couple dollars, save a few hundred, don't sit IELTS over and over again. Join our premium package at aehelp.com or gieltshelp.com. Website looks like this, blue background, academic IELTS. Click the big red button to join it. And for general, visit us on this website with the green background, gieltshelp.com. In 30 minutes, students, I'm going to start our reading class, reading strategy for academic IELTS. Everybody will be welcome to chat, okay? So all people watching in 30 minutes, stay tuned, and we'll do some reading practice and strategy. Thanks again, members. Have an awesome rest of your day. Hopefully, I will see many of you in the next class. Bye for now.